Hello and welcome to the Arizona Wildcats show. I'm Michael Lev. This is Zack Rosenblatt. We are with the Arizona Daily Star. We're at Arizona Stadium where earlier tonight, actually it was last night, the Arizona Wildcats defeated the Arizona State Sun Devils 56-35 to reclaim the Territorial Cup. Zach, there were a lot of surprises in this game tonight. A lot of stuff that we never saw coming because, I don't know, maybe we're just not that smart. We didn't really analyze this game the way it should have been analyzed, but 500 plus rushing yards, an Arizona victory. What stood out to you the most in the sense of what surprised you?
Maybe it didn't surprise me, but what stood out to me the most is just the way Arizona came out and played with the passion and energy, and they executed in a way that they haven't since maybe the Washington or Hawaii games. But in terms of what surprised me, I mean, they ran for 500 something yards
right.
against a team that you're supposed to be able to pass against. Like the holes were so wide there that Zach Green looked like Jerome Bettis tonight.
He did. Arizona State came into this game with the worst passing defense in the country, 383 yards per game, 48 yards worse than anybody else. Yet Arizona had only 77 passing yards. They only threw the ball 8 times, completed only 3.
To 2 receivers.
Nate Phillips had 2 catches and Josh Kern had 1. But they were just running all over them. There were huge holes blasted open by the offensive line. I think far and away the best performance by the offensive line this year. Pretty beleaguered group.
Yeah.
I would definitely concur with what Todd Graham said after the game, an embarrassing performance for the Sun Devils defense. I mean, the one thing you want to take away when you face Brandon Dawkins is his ability to run. And he was running all over them. And his running, I think, kind of opened things up the middle for Samaje Grant and Zach Green. So that was the formula for success. One other thing that was really interesting about this game, Zach, Arizona huddled. We haven't seen that in a really long time.
ASU be cheating.
ASU be cheating. Where did that quote come from? What was the explanation from the players about this?
Well, I mean, if you don't already know, ASU kind of famously is known for stealing signals. However they go about doing it, I don't know. But Brandon Dawkins said he hears them calling out their signals as they come into line. So they did the huddle so they couldn't see what they were calling. And he said they had a wristband as a backup. We saw what happened when Mike Leach called them out for it a couple weeks ago. But I mean, it's something that people are talking about every week, but they're doing it within the rules, so I don't think it's really ever going to change.
So kudos to the coaching staff. They came up with a system to counteract that. They huddled, and whoever would come in off the sideline would bring in the play. He would tell the quarterback what the play was. Brandon would relay it. They would line up quickly, and they would run their play. So they were able to kind of, counteract what Arizona State's able to do in that sense. So we're at the end of the season. Zach, it's our last game. There will be no bowl game this year. Obviously it's great that Arizona won this game, the Tucson Bowl, yes, so the Arizona Bowl.
Sorry.
Arizona won this game, so that's great, but they still finished 3-9. Rich Rodriguez was talking about the future a little bit after the game. He obviously is very optimistic about how things are going to go. And what's your kind of best case scenario for how they can rebuild, how quickly they can rebuild, that sort of thing?
This is a good win to have at the end of the season to go into the off season. He said they're going to hit the recruiting trail right away. This is a good thing to bring with them. See, we can, we're making improvement, but it's still going to be a long way up. With how beat up they were and how bad the depth was this year, that doesn't just get better overnight. You can bring in a good recruiting class, but they're still all true freshmen. So you should see improvement next year, but I think it's more of, you lose big one year, lose small the next year, then you start winning small the year after that. So I think 2018 will be the year where they're back competing, but you would hope that they compete for a bowl game next year at least.
Yeah, I think couple key things that you said. One, the freshmen. I mean, this is going to be a young team next year. Any way you slice it. Maybe the talent will be better. Maybe a lot of the guys who redshirted this year will be really good.
Growing pains.
But there will be growing pains, yes. So I think that kind of puts a cap on things. The other key thing that you said was just improving. I think what we need to see next year, what the fans need to see, what Greg Byrne needs to see out of this Rich Rodriguez coached program is improvement. Whether that's 5-7 or 6-6, you want to see things trending in the right direction. Whereas this year, they kind of fell backward in a big way for a variety of reasons: injuries, lack of talent, recruiting mistakes, all those things that we've talked about ad nauseum.
Yeah, one question for you. What do you think the future of this quarterback position is? And did Brandon Dawkins do anything tonight to cement himself? I feel like it's still kind of wide open, right?
I can't believe you asked me that on our very last show. That's an impossible question to answer. The quarterback derby is wide open, in my opinion. We don't know what the future holds for Anu Solomon. They got a couple freshmen coming in, including Rhett Rodriguez, who are very impressive, playing in a state championship. Zach will be heading there soon after the game, maybe carpooling with Rich Rod. I don't know, honestly. I mean, this is, again, kind of an eye-opening performance by Brandon Dawkins, but he only completed 3 of 8 passes. He still has a ways to go. He even talked about it after the game. He has a lot of improvements to make, as do the rest of them.
As do we, as beat writers.
Yes, we do, of course. Always trying to get a little bit better every day.
Deadline. Yeah.
Like Jay Johnson says. All right, that's our show for tonight. You can check out Zach's work and my work at Tucson.com. Thanks for watching.